Yep, the magic man, Maeda, brilliantly worked. You felt it was coming from Japan.
Thrashed in by Austin Trusty. It's another fast start from the Americans. The personnel changes, but the intent does not alter.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Celtic Flower podcast. Xander here with John to go through all the latest Celtic gossip, rumours, any stories surrounding Celtic at this particular moment. There's not much happening, let's be honest, but we'll go through whatever is out there. Let's say hello to John first. How are you, John?
Aye, alright, aye. Not bad. Just enjoying I was going to say enjoying the sun, but I don't think anybody's enjoying it.
No, we're not built for the sun, are we? Let's be honest. Are you still enjoying the World Cup?
I don't think I've watched a game since. I think the only game I've watched was the Scotland game, Brazil. I think that's the only game I've watched since the last time I spoke to you. I've just lost interest in it. Games are on too late and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I watched one half of each of the Scotland games, and that's it. That's all I've watched. And talking about the Brazil game, correct score competition, one person got it right. One club since 1888 got the correct score right for that. Well done to him. But get your guesses in for the next game, next Celtic game coming up, which is more important. Let's be honest, it's a Celtic we're here to talk about. Get your guess into the comment section for the correct score league table on your left hand side there. One guess each into the comment section. Celtic versus Shelbourne, or the other way about if you like. Shelbourne versus Celtic because it's in Ireland. One guess each into the comments to get your first 3 points on the board.
That Brazil game wasn't for the league, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. That was
come on, that's no right. It's supposed to be a Celtic league.
No, we bring in other games as well, John, and Celtic aren't playing. But anyway, get your guesses in for the Shelbourne game just now, because it's just over a week away, and you've got to get your guess in just now. Obviously, some people have already put their guesses in, but if you haven't put your guess in yet, get it in just now. And a big thank you as well to everybody that's viewed the channel as well recently, because we do appreciate it. The views are through the roof. It's been absolutely superb. So thank you to everybody that's viewed. So thank you to everybody that's hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for that. Right, let's get into it then, John. Celtic stuff. Nothing happening, as I said a couple of minutes ago. Nothing really happening at all. The pre-season training has started, I suppose, John, and most of the players are away in the World Cup. But anybody that's left over, they've returned to training. So that's a good sign. It means the football's not too far away.
Aye. Good to see Cameron Carter-Vickers in the training, isn't it? It's good. How good is it to see him back training? Can't wait till he comes back. We really missed him last season, but seeing him running about, brilliant. Can't wait to see him back.
Aye, yeah, that's right, John, because we've lost a lot of players already. We've actually lost a lot of players. We've not signed anybody, and we've lost, I think it's 11 or 12 until us. We quickly run through who's officially left the club and who won't return to the club. Schmeichel is away, Lewis Palmer's away, Stephen Welsh is away, Araujo is away, Adamu is gone, Conchara is gone, Mvuka is gone, Sirachi is gone, although there is talks with Sirachi at the moment. Benjamin Arthur, he's also away, and Thiago Holm is away there, John. So that's a fair old list of players. And then you look at, the likes of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain not signed an extension to his contract, and Iheanacho is also in limbo, John. So that's a fair old chunk of players away.
It is a fair old chunk, and to be honest, the only two that I would want to keep there is the same ones. Well, same three players that you would pick, and that's Sirachi, Araujo, and Iheanacho. Get the three back. I'd be happy getting the three back. I'd be delighted with that, Sander. I think all three of them contributed massively to Celtic winning the title, so to see them coming back, I'd be happy with that.
Aye, of course, that's right. Iheanacho, Martin O'Neill does still want him to return to the club, Iheanacho, so there is a chance for him to return. And of course, when you look at the Sirachi saga, I mean, it's a saga already. They're only looking for £1.5 million for Sirachi, and Celtic are, digging their heels, try to get him on loan, etc., for another year, rather than just pay the £1.5–2 million for Sriracha. It's a nonsense, and I mean, it started already. This humming and hawing over £1 or £2 million.
Well, it's the same old Celtic, innit? We need Sriracha on a permanent deal. None of this loan nonsense. You've got the £1.5 million there. Pay him. That's again another still game, isn't it? When they were buying the car, you've got the 300 in your pocket. Pay him. Well, Celtic's got money to spare, because I've no doubt they will be selling Engels and another couple of players. Spend the money on Sriracha. At that kind of price, it's an absolute steal. He's one of the best players at Celtic last season. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have won the league. Let's be honest. He has forward thinking and, direct play. Getting forward, none of this going backwards. Take your man on, get by him, get a pass into the box, and create chances. And that's what he was doing against Hearts constantly and other teams every time he comes on. It's an absolute bargain. Snap him up. I don't see what the issue is here. Snap the guy up.
Aye, somebody will come in and take him. That's what happened with John McGinn, remember? I think you mentioned that last week. That's going to happen again with Sriracha, isn't it? Let's be honest, somebody's going to snap him up for £1.5 million, €2 million. That's what they're looking for him, John. So we need to be quick to get Sriracha over the line. Obviously, Martin O'Neill wants him signed. He wants Iheanacho to remain at the club as well. So that's what's happening just now as regards to the players that were there last season. But that, as I say, that's a fair old chunk of players left the club. There can't be too many players at the training grounds a few days ago that started. I know you said Big Cameron, Carter Vickers, the likes of Callum McGregor will be there, all the sort of players that are, returning from injury or not playing international football, John, because everybody else is away or left the club. So it must have only been about 10 or 12 players there at this training last week. Elijah Just as well. Celtic have started preliminary talks with Motherwell for him. So that's good news, I suppose, John, because he's a decent player.
He's half decent. I don't know if he's Celtic quality right enough, but he is decent. I'm saying I don't know if he's Celtic quality because I ain't seen that much of him. Obviously I've seen a good few games with Motherwell last season. He was probably their best player last season, him and Elliot Watt. I think they two were cracking players for Motherwell. But is he Celtic quality? I really don't know. He's decent, don't get me wrong, he is decent. He scored a double in the World Cup as well from New Zealand. So I can see why Celtic are interested in him. But you've got to remember, Celtic are trying to plan ahead for this Champions League. And I just don't know if that boy's the quality that we need. I could be totally proven wrong. He is decent. I have seen him a few times, but I just get back to players we get off Motherwell, like David Turnbull, an absolute flop. I can't remember how many guys on podcasts I seen at the time when I used to watch podcasts raving about Turnbull. Oh, he's absolute class, the new Paul McStay. That Axom and all that going on and on about it, absolute guff. And I says at the time, I do not want him near Celtic. He's a dud, and I was proven right. What's this Paul McStay crap?
You couldn't tie Paul McStay's laces, let's be honest with you. And you're right, John, he was very, very poor. But I've signed a couple. Phil O'Donnell for Motherwell, likes Scott McDonald. But you're right about that. Turnbull, he was absolutely. I mean, he had a good shot on him from outside the box. That was about all that boy had to offer at Celtic. Not being too harsh on him, but that's just the fact, John. You've got to tell the truth sometimes, haven't you? So we're hoping that Elijah Just has that wee bit more quality, John. We don't want to hear, as you say, other people, compare him to, other like Moravcik or John Collins or something like that. We don't want to hear it, John. We want to see what the boy can do himself, if indeed he does sign for Celtic.
Aye, well, this is it. He is direct. He has got some good attributes about him. He's got really good energy up and down the park. But it's a different ball game when you come to Celtic. You've got to do that consistently every single time you pull on the green and white hoops. You've got to be 100% constantly. I just don't know if he's what Celtic are needing right now. We do need wingers. I think he's good out in the. I think he plays out in the left. I can't remember. But look, he's a half decent player. But I'm just not sure. It's what I would welcome right now, considering where we need to strengthen. We do need wingers. I'm not sure if he is a winger, but he's decent. But for me, anyway, right now, he's just not what I would be looking for.
Yeah, I was looking at the players that Celtic are linked to. You know, we've gone about this every time, didn't we? Every transfer window, links here, links there, links everywhere. I mean, and just about most of the time, none of these players sign. So we went through it last week, John. I'm not going to go through them all again. It's still the same players that we're linked to. We haven't even opened negotiations with any of these players at all. So very quiet on the Celtic front, if we're going to be very honest, John. No much movement of players coming in at all. You know, that might change over the next few days. We don't know. But as we speak just now, it's very quiet indeed. Not one player over the line. It's quite pathetic, actually, isn't it?
It is. But that's just the Celtic way. It's the same every season. Penny pinching when it comes to players. I don't know who's in charge of negotiations, but Celtic have got to be looking this season to move forward. And right now, it's same old Celtic, stalemate, nothing happening. I know it's still early, but you've got to have some kind of news that gets the fans excited. And there's absolutely nothing. All it's doing right now is yet again is sheer frustration. And that's the Celtic way. Just frustrate the fans to death. And that's what's happening again.
Yeah, as early, you're right, John, it is. But we do kick off our first game in 8 days. So, you know, this is you try to get the players ready for the Champions League qualifier. So, I mean, the football starts in 8 days. So, you know, we need to try and get some bodies in the door, really do, especially after, you know, all the players that have already left. Okay, that's it as regards to the players. Nothing really much else happening as regards to the players coming in. A lot out the door, nothing coming in so far anyway. But I think we'll see a totally different Celtic come the start of the season. What do you think?
I wouldn't be too optimistic. You know me right enough. I'm always... I don't look at Celtic with high hopes. I never do when it comes to signing players. There's got to be change at that board. There's got to be. They kind of go, you know, kicking their heels when it comes to Sriracha. Humming and hawing there a few quid. And like you says, the John McGinn thing, I go back to that again. They let these players go because they're penny pinching. They've got to be more ambitious when they want players. Like I says, I'm not really that bothered about Elijah Just. I think he's a decent player, but I'm not that bothered if we don't get him. But I'm bothered about Sriracha because I know what he's capable of, and the Celtic fans all love him. Most Celtic fans prefer him over Kieran Tierney. So I don't see why they're holding back when it comes to Sriracha. It's a bargain player. Go get him. It's as simple as that. Spend the money. The money's there to spend on players. Make a start. Make the Celtic fans happy by getting the first player in the door that the Celtic fans know for a fact has got real ability. So I don't see why they're holding out for a loan deal or something. I just don't get it.
Yeah, we spoke about Sriracha last Sunday, if you remember, and I think you went online and there was like rumours or news that just broke that, you know, we're very close to signing them. But it's like everything else, isn't it, John? It's like everything else. It's nonsense. Let's be honest. The only people that know who's signing and who's going to be signing is the people that splash the cash at the board level, John. That's the only people that know who's signing and how close they are to signing. I sort of knew last week when we spoke about it, the Sriracha thing was nowhere near it. And Celtic always drag their heels when it comes to spending £1.5 million to £2 million. John, it's nonsense. It really is. Anyway, let's move on, as I say, a couple of minutes ago. Let's move on to Gavin Stratton, John. He's officially left the club as well. He's away to West Bromwich Albion as a coach. Hey, Gavin Strachan, he got a bit of a hard time, didn't he? Remember, he used to use his tablet. He used to sit on his tablet and, you know, show instructions to players on his tablet, things like that. His laptop was it? I can't remember, but he got a bit of a tough time. But a very successful coach at Celtic, John. Trophy after trophy. Thank you to Gavin Strachan. Well done. Good luck at his new club.
Aye, all the best to Gavin Strachan. 5 years of service. Absolutely fantastic. Done a good job when he was there. It's always good to see his face there. But aye, good luck to him. Nothing bad to say about Gavin at all. All the very best of luck to him. I mean, I'd rather see somebody sitting on a laptop working out tactics than that Connect 4 board that Nancy had.
It's all I'm laughing now that it's passed and we managed to get away with it. But when you think back to that scenario with Nancy, it's him and his assistant on that touchline with his wee draft board or whatever it was he had, Connect 4 as you say, it was quite embarrassing, wasn't it?
I don't know what the board was. Battleships, maybe. Something like that.
We got away with it though, eh? That was, I mean, week after week, having to watch that and then getting gubbed in every game as well.
Aye,
we can laugh about it now, I suppose.
Aye, we can laugh about it. But if we lost that league, we certainly wouldn't be laughing about it right now, would we? I mean, he just drags Celtic down so far, didn't he, Nancy? Still remarkable what Martin O'Neill done, by the way. Every day when I put on the telly or whatever, or YouTube, I always go back to that, winning that league. I always watch the highlights. Sometimes I watch the full game against Hearts and the Motherwell one. I've seen that guy on YouTube. He puts the full games on. I don't know how he's getting away with it, by the way. Don't know who he is, but he puts the full games on. Not just Celtic games, other games I know. And he put the Motherwell game on the other day there, and I watched the full game again. It's just remarkable, and it's under how we actually managed to turn that around after being absolutely blighted by Nancy and his Battleships board. Remarkable.
He's gone, thank goodness. And Martin O'Neill, John, it brings on nicely to Martin O'Neill. He did officially sign that 1 year extension to his contract. I know everybody knew he was going to stay, but that's him officially done it, John. Martin O'Neill, Celtic manager for another year.
Aye, everybody's happy with that, I think. There's always a few, isn't there, grumbling and mumbling about it. But me personally, delighted, absolutely delighted. I'm quite sure Martin O'Neill, with his experience, his know-how, his knowledge, he'll get us another title over the line. Full season with Martin O'Neill, not a problem.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And we'll get to the Rangers in a wee minute, John, but let's stick with Celtic for the time being. Engels, of course, the dilemma with Engels. Roma are now interested in Engels. Atletico, Madrid interested now. Of course, Nottingham Forest still interested in him. From a fee for starting from 26 million to 30 million, John, but that's just going to rumble on off through the summer.
Always does with Celtic. I mean, rumbling on in Celtic are words that go well together, aren't they? I was going to say 2 words, but it's actually 3 words. But yeah. They actually go well together, Celtic and rumbling on. It's just what we're used to seeing from Celtic. This season won't be any different. But I'm always sitting trying to work out. I wonder how many decent quality first team starters that Celtic will bring in this season. I think Arnie Engels will be gone. I don't think Celtic will be able to resist the money that's circling Arnie Engels. So I think he will be gone. But how many quality players are going to be brought in? We're losing a quality player. All right, I don't rate him as one of the better Celtic players. I think he's half decent. But are Celtic going to replace him with better quality? I don't think so. This is the thing with Celtic. It's going to be all either loan players or try to get players on the cheap, the usual. I don't know. Always pessimistic when it comes to Celtic, and this season's no different.
It's always the same. You're right, John. It's always the same. Every single summer, it's exactly the same. But this is going to go on and on and on. This Engels one, I think. Obviously, Maeda's it's the same with Maeda as well, John. But I agree with you. I think he's gone. I think he'll be off ski to one of these clubs that are interested in him. And I think Celtic are looking at replacements for him already. So, but as I said earlier on, John, all people that know who's going to be coming in, who's going to be leaving, is the board members, John, and the manager. They know exactly what's going on. No, but everybody else is just guessing. Let's be honest. Another fixture added to the pre-season friendlies there, 7th of July, of course. We've got Shelburne. Get your guesses in for that, folks, for the correct score next week. Get your guesses in for the Shelburne game. So that's the 7th of July. Then the 14th of July, we've got Sporting Lisbon. We spoke about that last week. But it's the Middlesbrough game that's been added, John. It's at Celtic Park on the 13th of July. So 30th of July, Middlesbrough, and a week later, AC Milan at Celtic Park. A double dunt at home for Celtic, Middlesbrough and AC Milan.
Aye. It's always good to play the English teams, isn't it? It's a good guide to see where exactly you are. Last season, of course, we absolutely scalped every English team we played in the friendlies. It's only a friendly, nobody was getting excited, but we did well against English teams last season, Chelsea and Man City. Was that the season before? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was the season before. We didn't do too great as last season's pre-season, if you like. We got a couple of wins, a draw, a defeat. You know, it wasn't as good as the season before. But the season before, it was the big English clubs. We took care of everyone that we played, didn't we? Man City, Chelsea, as you say, and a few other big teams we took care of. So yeah, another English club coming to Celtic Park. Middlesbrough, they will give us a game, of course, but it's just about getting the fitness into the players' legs.
Aye, it was Chelsea, Man City, and DC United, I think it was that season.
Yeah, that's right.
It does get some energy into the players' legs. The games get tougher as they go, and obviously that's always the case. But I always look forward to the pre-season friendlies. But I've got a feeling these ones are going to be the same players that's already at Celtic that's going to be taking part in them.
It could be, and I think that happened last season as well, actually. You know, it was the players from the season before that took part in the pre-season friendlies. So that could easily happen again this season, John, to be honest with you. But Martin O'Neill, he speaks his mind. Hopefully he can get some signings in a wee bit earlier, John, because let's be honest, we need new signings in the door, get them settled into the club for the, as you say, the bigger games coming up.
Aye, especially the Champions League qualifier. We can't have another Kairat Almaty, like I says last week. We can't afford that. Got to get the quality in that can take care of lesser. I don't want to say lesser teams, but they're lesser teams than what you normally see in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So, but they can also throw a surprise in, like we seen with Kairat Almaty. So we need better quality to take care of these teams in early. It's only one playoff round, but we definitely need the players in to take care of that, because we can get surprised, as we all know. We've all seen it before, seen it more than once, and it happened to be more than just Kairat Almaty. So, aye, better quality needed pronto, Xander. But the way Celtic are acting right now, I just can't see it. But it's, like I say as well, it is early. But they need to start giving us some news, at least tell us what's happening behind the scenes. Some kind of news. There's nothing, absolutely nothing, apart from kicking their heels with Marcello Ceracchi. That's all we've got.
Yeah, that's it. You wonder what these other guys on the podcast have to talk about, because there's absolutely nothing happening at Celtic. You know, we're lucky. Well, some bits and bobs here that we've dug out, but we've not been on for over a week, so we've got a week's worth of catching up to do. And let's have a wee look at Rivals Corner, actually, because the Rangers, John, obviously they've signed McInnes as their manager, the bigoted manager McInnes. He's their new boss. And they've signed Ross McCrory, serial loser, £870,000 from Bristol City. So serial loser number one they've signed, and obviously serial loser number two, Shankland, who was absolutely diabolical in the World Cup. Let's be honest, that guy was useless in the World Cup. Another serial loser. That's two players that they've signed already, and they're looking at some others. But you know, £870,000, John, and a free agent for them so far.
Aye, they'll be looking to do their business on the cheap. I think their fans are getting carried away, thinking they're going to spend 60 million quid or something like that. That's not going to happen. They spent that last season and finished third. The guys that run that club, they're no daft. They're not going to spend another 60 million quid. That's not going to happen. But look, I don't really care what happens there, to be honest. We can only look after ourselves. I see McInnes was welcomed with a baptism of fire at Ibrox, about 5 fans there. to greet him, and a van a van pumping its horn as it drove past.
Is that right? I didn't actually know that.
That's 100% right. Trust me. It was
Right,
just.
okay.
I'm not sure how many people were there. Maybe, let's say 10 people, and one had a dog, and a van drove past and pumped its horn.
All right, okay. It was not quite Brendan Rodgers at Celtic Park, and the full stand was chock-a-block. It must have been about 15,000 people there to greet Brendan Rodgers. I don't know if you remember that, John. I was actually there. I was one of the saddos that was there.
I remember it well. I also remember Martin O'Neill getting welcomed to Celtic in his first time at Celtic 25 years ago. I remember that very well.
Yeah, that's a proper welcome to the club, isn't it, John? We know how to do it. A horn, a horn, and a dog. Right,
that's 10 guys, a dog, and a blue nose out finishing his shift at work. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's no joke, by the way. Watch it, you'll see it's on YouTube. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not exaggerating. That's the maximum, about 10 people there, 10, 12 people there. One with a dog and a van. That was the welcome. That was the welcome committee.
I'm going to look at that. The committee. Right, okay. Hearts have signed a new manager. Walter Vranken. Never heard of the boy. He's Belgium manager. He done well with St Truden last season. He's their new head coach. They've already signed Calvin Miller. John, they've signed Calvin Miller on a free. Josh McPake on a free, and some other guy around about £1 million and another 3 on a free. So 6 players on a free and a £1 million signing. So where's this mega bucks they were going to sign?
I don't know, but obviously everybody's getting their work done early, aren't they? Calvin Miller, ex-Celtic player, I thought he was decent for Falkirk last season. I think that's a good signing for them.
Yeah.
But Celtic, just are they waiting to see what everybody else does first? Is that the Celtic way? Are they just waiting to see what everybody else does first before they start splashing the cash?
I might be waiting on the World Cup ending. Possibly that could be a possibility to see what players are maybe popping up cheap, that kind of stuff. That's the way Celtic do their business, isn't it? But I couldn't believe that with Hearts. All we heard from pundits and the press and the media last season, but this is just the beginning for Hearts. And they signed 5 free agents and a player at around about $1 million, and that's probably their business done for the season, to be honest with you. But this is just the beginning, John. No, that was the end for them. They're not going to go any higher than that. Second, pitting Rangers to second is about their level as well.
Well, to be fair to Hearts, they finished 8 points above them. I think that's pretty good, to be honest with you. I think they did really well last season, Hearts. I says to you before, I think Hearts done really well. I do commend them for finishing where they finished. And we also say in the same breath, if it wasn't for Wilfred Nancy coming in, they'd have been 18 points or something behind Celtic. So maybe looking at it that way, they didn't do that well, but they certainly did well getting ahead of Rangers.
Yeah, but don't have the Scottish media screaming about just being the beginning, when there's clearly not got any money to spend. 6 free agent players in the door and one at €1 million, John. So I know €1 million is a lot of money, but when they're screaming about it's just the beginning, they're going to be signing, spending a lot of money, and so far it's not happened anyway. We'll wait and see what happens the remainder of the season. But yeah, they did do well finishing above the Rangers, John, who spent £40 million to finish third, as you said as well. Right, before we go, a wee quick word on the World Cup, John. The World Cup, Scotland eliminated. It's quite dire, to be honest with you. The fans booing the Celtic supporters that walked by with their Celtic tops on. That still sticks in my throat, that, to be honest with you. I've actually got a video made. I don't know whether to post it or not, regarding that, the Scotland supporters booing the Celtic fans. 3 Celtic fans that had Celtic tops on, and there was about a couple of thousand booing them. Absolutely pathetic, to be honest with you. Not all the Tartan Army feel that way about the Celtic supporters, but it was just horrible to watch, John. But now they're eliminated, they're on their way home. Scotland were diabolical as well.
Pathetic. Never expected any more, to be honest with you. Against Brazil, they kept possession. I think they had more possession than Brazil at the end of the game. But just diabolical. Stevie Clark, of course, he's resigned. He's off ski. So Scotland will be looking for a new manager. I wonder who that will be, yeah. But watching the Scotland fans booing the Celtic fans, we hate to talk about Celtic, no Stevie Clark resigning. It is diabolical. And do you think if somebody walked through there with a Hearts top on or a Motherwell top or even a Rangers top, that they get booed? There's absolutely no chance of that. And that's why I'm glad that they're at the World Cup. I've got no qualms about that at all, Sander. I was just trying to think of a word to say there, but I don't really care. I'm glad. I says that to you before. After what I witnessed in Scotland last season, with the mayhem that surrounded Celtic's penalty against Motherwell and then Celtic winning the league, they were on tears, they were up in arms, the whole country was up in arms about it. And then to top it off, you had the Scotland fans booing the boys with the Celtic tops on. So, aye, tough luck, tough titty, don't care. Good riddance to them.
Yeah, when Clark picks the team that he's picked, Shankland up front, I mean, why would you pick the guy should be nowhere near an international jersey, let's be honest with you. He should be nowhere near an international jersey, and his options after that are no anything special either. But you know, lucky to win the first game, very lucky to win the first game. Then, you know, very lacklustre performance against Morocco, and then Brazil put them to the sword. Anyway, they're on their way home anyway, John. So we'll just, we just hope that Kieran Tierney's injury that they picked up isn't too severe.
No, Kieran's all right. He played against Brazil. He came on as a sub. He was fine. I know you only watched. I know you only watched one half of the game, but second half he came on and put in a man of the match performance. Scotland creating chances thanks to Kieran Tierney. It was only one that stood out to me amongst that whole team. Kieran Tierney, man of the match performance, Sander.
Well, that's good. I'm just glad he's fit, John. The World Cup means nothing to me. You know, it's the big worry is, you know, nothing against the English nation, but we just don't want to see England winning the World Cups. You know, that would just be plain hell on earth.
There's no way that's going to happen. Famous last words, isn't it? I just can't see it. No, when you've got quality like France, France are outstanding. You've got Argentina, Messi's on fire as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've not watched too much of the World Cup, mind you, but the games I have watched, I've enjoyed watching France, Argentina. Don't Brazil, I think they're slow starters. Germany are slow starters. You've got Portugal, you've got Spain, all good teams. Certainly capable of turning England over. Let's not kid ourselves. I just can't see England winning that. I just can't see it. I'll stick to my word, like I did last season with Celtic winning the league. England won't win the World Cup either.
Yeah, you've picked France, John, to win it, and our wee predictor last week, I've picked Germany. So we'll wait and see as the days and weeks go on. There's only a couple of weeks left in the World Cup winter. So we'll wait and see what happens in the World Cup. We will be back next Sunday.
Well, what about your prediction for the Shelbourne game if it's for the league?
Yeah, we'll be back before that, John. We'll be back on before that. But you want my prediction just now?
No, we'll just leave it to next week. I thought it was in between. It's the 8th, you say, but 7th or 8th?
Yeah, the 8th. Yeah. I think it's next Tuesday night, John. I think it's next Tuesday.
All right.
But before we go, I want a scale of 1 to 10 off your fear factor scale, 1 to 10. 1 being you're not afraid at all, 10 being you're very afraid, on Ross McCrory returning to Rangers.
Aye, terrified. 10 out of 10. I'm only joking, of course. So he's a half decent wee player, McCrory. I think he's half decent. I think he played under McInnes before. Was it Kilmarnock he was at? I can't remember. When McInnes was there, maybe obviously McInnes likes him. That's one of these players that he's targeted and fancies him at the Rangers. But look, we're talking about a team that finished third last season and now they've got a worse manager, and there's nothing to be scared of when it comes to them, unless they start splashing 50, 60, 70 million quid on their team. Well, they did that last season, didn't they? 40 million quid and finished third. But it takes a lot of guts to win a league. It takes more than just bringing in players. You've got to know how to win a league, and that's their problem. They don't know how to win a league unless there's COVID flying about there. That's the only way they'll get close to a league. So, no, but when it comes to the Rangers, I'm not concerned at all. Ross McCrory, half-decent wee player. Am I worried? it doesn't even register a 1.
Aye, okay. John, thanks for coming on. Thanks very much for coming on. Appreciate that, buddy. I know you're just cut off. Appreciate that. We'll see you next Sunday, buddy. Hail for now, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. Hit that subscribe button as well. And we'll catch you all next Sunday. Bye for now.